Welcome to another edition of Art and Prayer, where we take some time in contemplative prayer using art and scripture to inspire us. Today we actually go back to chapter 1 of Juliet Benner's book, Contemplative Vision. We have jumped around in the book quite a bit, but I had saved this chapter because of its Advent theme. However, it does a very good job of introducing to us some of the important elements of contemplative prayer. This is how she begins chapter 1. For many of us, the invitation to contemplative stillness before God is both appealing and slightly threatening. It suggests a way of being that might seem desirable, but probably feels alien. If we are honest, we have to admit that there is very little stillness in our spirits. We go through week after week, month after month, preoccupied with the busyness and the business of daily life. We are so used to being busy that we treat it as an essential characteristic of the good life. Ask people how they are doing, and they will often answer by telling you how busy they are. It has become a mark of success, as if someone who is not busy must certainly be leading an unfulfilling and unsuccessful life. If we are busy, we feel that life is meaningful. Human beings have become human doings. Simply being feels like not enough, perhaps even personal failure. We have failed to nurture solitude and stillness of heart, both of which are at the heart of prayer. Contemplative living just does not seem realistic in our busy lives and worlds. She's done such a good job of capturing so much there. The sense of busyness that can pervade our lives and our society, and the uncomfortableness of being still. Further into the chapter, she then says, contemplative prayer is awakening and attentiveness. It is stepping back from our preoccupations and distractions and allowing God to transform our awareness, our hearts and our lives. It is withdrawing from the world to go into the desert or monastery, to cultivate an inner stillness of heart that persists even in the busyness and the challenges of our lives, and that allows us to face these challenges with focus and passion that comes from living with attunement to God. This Christmas Advent season, as we approach the Christmas holiday, can particularly be a time of busyness. We can get so lost in the special parties, the events, the buying of Christmas presents, the decorating, that we don't take time to be still before God. So today, we're going to do that. We're going to reverse our normal order. Instead of beginning with scripture, we're going to look at our painting for the day. It is another by the same artist that we started with in the very first episode, Bruegel the Elder. Take time to look at it carefully and contemplatively. What do you see? The camera is going to drift over different parts of it so you can see various parts of it up close. Perhaps you notice all the busyness. A crowded village scene filled with peasants going about their daily activities. Some are constructing a building in the upper right. What do you see? Bruegel includes new and old buildings, some large and substantial. The tall, sturdy church look far back in the upper left corner of the painting. All around there is action and purposeful movement. People are bearing heavy loads, walking across the icy lake. On the left of the painting, we see a throng of people gathered in front of a building, while others nearby are working at their different tasks, woodworking, slaughtering pigs, carrying wood. There are carts laden with kindling and kegs of water or wine. A woman brushes away snow with her broom, children play on the ice, some toss snowballs at each other. This is life at its most ordinary. People busy with everyday activities in a frozen, wintry landscape as we watch the sun sinking slowly below the horizon. But who are these people in the painting failing to see in their midst? Who possibly did you fail to see in their midst? The easily overlooked central figures of the painting are Mary and Joseph. Do you see them? If not, look for the woman on the donkey. What does it say to you to see Mary and Joseph in the midst of the busyness of town life? Continue to hold on to that thought as we look at Luke chapter 2, verses 1 through 5, which this painting, called the Census of Bethlehem, is based on. You may want to enter into the experience, considering how Mary and Joseph felt as they made their long, arduous journey to Bethlehem. Pay attention to what captures your heart and mind. In those days, Caesar Augustus declared that everyone throughout the empire should be enrolled in the tax lists. This first enrollment occurred when Quirinius governed Syria. Everyone went to their own cities to be enrolled. Since Joseph belonged to David's house and family line, he went up from the city of Nazareth in Galilee to David's city called Bethlehem in Judea. He went to be enrolled together with Mary, who was promised to him in marriage and who was pregnant. As we look again at Bruegel's Census at Bethlehem, imaginatively place yourself in the painting. Where would you be and what would you be doing? What activities might keep you distracted or preoccupied, making it hard for you to notice the presence of the hidden Christ in your midst? What things in your life in recent days have kept you preoccupied and left you asleep and unaware? Many people in the painting carry heavy burdens. They are stooped under their heavy loads. What burdens do you carry that are distracting you from seeing God's presence? How do you respond to Jesus' invitation to come to Him and to find rest for your weary soul? Where might Christ be in the midst of your burden carrying at the present moment? Juliet then helps us to look at the painting a little more deeply. Without knowing the title, you may not have realized that the theme was a religious one. But Bruegel gives us other clues to the spiritual significance of what we are viewing. The artist reputedly liked to include subtle hints of the spiritual in his paintings. What might some be? Look, for example, at the large round wreath above the door of the inn. You might include evergreen wreaths among your Christmas decorations, but are you aware of their symbolic meaning? It and other circles scattered throughout the work, did you notice the numerous wagon wheels? Are symbols of eternity. Bruegel used them as ways of reminding us of the eternal significance of seeing and knowing the Christ who is in our midst. There are other references to the life of Jesus in the painting. In the lower left corner, we see 3 chickens pecking at their food in the snow. Perhaps Bruegel is referencing Peter's threefold denial during Christ's trial when the cock's crow reminded him of Jesus' words. They may point to Christ's trial and death and the redemptive power of his crucifixion. Huge logs to the left of the chickens remind us of Jesus' own future occupation as a carpenter, with the beams resembling the cross from which he would be hung. The wagon with kindling recalls for us the Old Testament prefiguring of Christ in Isaac's sacrifice. The wine kegs may allude to what Jesus was to call the new covenant in my blood. There may be more. Where do you see God in the small, seemingly insignificant details of the painting? Where do you see evidence of who Christ is, of God in the midst of our lives? There is much here in this painting, much more than I have talked about or Juliet has talked about. Again, look. What section is capturing your attention? Where are your God senses tingling, saying, "Ah, there is God"? Or here is something that represents Christ for me. And then ask, what does this mean? Why am I noticing it? What does God have to say to me through this? As always, I'm so thankful for the opportunity to lead and participate with you in this time of holy encounter of God. It feeds my soul. I hope it does yours as well. Especially in this time of busyness, of preparing for Christmas. Let's be aware in all of the preparation we do of the Christ who is at the center of it, of whose birth we're celebrating. Peace to you in this season, and I hope that you will be with us again next week.